Hey YouTube, what's up? Scarecrow here. So it's been a week since Set 11 came out and I've got to do playtesting, and so I'm doing an updated build on my ZTB deck since then. So get started. Still using Chronojet as a starter. He's just like the overall best starter in the clan in general. Shouldn't be too much to explain there. For my triggers, I'm playing 4 Chrono Volley, and then 4 Boars, just to have 8 ZTB crits. Took out Heart Thump. Found this deck's running better just by having like everything be a ZTB. I'm then playing 4 Sheep. This card is like, it's good and it's bad, but it's also more good than bad. Like, I have mixed feelings about this card, but it can sometimes just be like so good, and then other times it's just so situational. But overall, I've liked it so far. I like using it to restand my guys, put back cards. It's pretty good. And then for the last of the triggers, pretty predictably, we got our 4 heals. For our grade 1s, starting with 2 Rats. This card is a little bit weird in here, but as far as grade 1 ZTBs go, there aren't a lot of great options. But this guy has decent stats. He's a ZTB. We don't get to use his Bind Zone skill very often, but his other skill, his Act, you reveal him from your hand, bind him, rest a rear guard, and draw. He's useful like early game. You can be like, if you look at your hand, you don't have what you need. Just like, like when I go first, I'm like, rest my starter, draw a card. Just helps you get a little bit better consistency in the deck, as well as he's got good stats, and he does help you bind some stuff, which comes helpful later on. Next, we got our 4 ARCA. That's how you say your name, ARCA. Very cool, perfect card. It's very free. It's a little bit slow usually to get it start going, because it takes a while for you to get to the 2 of them, but very cool card, very free. Then we're playing our 4 Transit Dragon, another like fantastic addition to this deck. This card is so good. It boosts, and then it draws a card, and it gets out of the way, and then you can fill that spot back up, and it gives you soul. Really good card. And then lastly, we have our 4 Zodiac Time Beast Stride Fodder. Getting into our 2s. One thing I really overlooked in my first build was this guy. I originally thought this card was Generation Break 1 and didn't like it. But upon realizing this card is not generation restricted, this card is really good. You drop him, rest your starter, draw a card, beat for 10. Very good card. Next, playing 3 Cruising Dragons. I was playing 4, I've cut it down. As good as he is, I would actually see him like too often actually, and like you only want to use him like once or twice in a game anyways, because you only have so much counterblast, but still a very good card. Then I'm playing 3 Lugal Ure, just 3, also cut back on this, still like this card a lot, but made room. Now I'm playing 2 of the Pulsar Tamer here. She beats big and gets off the field. She gets big numbers. It's a pretty cool card. Like her. She also has resist, so can't deny her from her. For 3s, playing for Chronojet G's. This card's pretty self-explanatory. It's just great. It's a Zodiac and it's Chronojet. And it has 2 really good skills. Very good. I'm also playing 1 of the Jurassic Colossus. This guy is a ZTB, and I run him just at 1, because if I can't ride Chronojet G, and I need to ride something else, this thing would be like the next best thing in my opinion. I don't run regular Chronojet because he's not a ZTB, and I would just rather ride this guy, and this guy can build up resources along the way and can help you actually get to Chronojet J so that you can then ride that and play the game more normally. But this card is still a grade 3, it is a Zodiac, and it has a helpful skill. That's why I'm running it. And then for the last of the grade 3s, I'm playing 3 Codal. This card is so good. So very, very good. Calling it out off of your Phoenix or your Lugal Ure, and then getting the unflip and then beat. This card's so good. For the G Zone, I'm playing 1 Pegasus, usually our starter. You can flip anything, so we don't need to play 2 of them. Playing 1 Metallica Phoenix. Metallica Phoenix is a more recent addition, but I really appreciate it actually. This deck is very counterblast heavy, so sometimes there are turns where you would be able to use your rear guards if you wanted to do your Vanguard because you'd have to counterblast. But Phoenix lets you do just that. Do an aggressive play while still not having any damage, and being able to jump something like into a Codal and then unflip, and I like Phoenix. Playing 1 Honglong. Usually this is the combo with our Gear Groovy, but in some matchups like Narukami, it's also helpful. 2 Avenir Phoenix. Don't get to use this card a ton, but it's a very good card. You get to fill up your board, create more attacks. It powers up everything with its GB2, which is a really good skill. It's a good card. Then we're playing 3 Next Stage and 2 Gear Groovies. We already know these cards pretty well. I don't think I really need to explain them. 1 Sea Breeze, and then for our G Guards, 1 Rafana, 2 Header Around, and 2 Uluru. I increased my number of Ulurus because this deck doesn't really have anything like takeaway to rebuild itself, so she's very helpful in that sense as well. She's a big shield. And we're playing Rafana because sometimes you just need a really big shield, so she's cool. Like, you could, in theory, have guard with an Uru, put back a Chronodran, then guard with Rafana, get that Chronodran back. She's not as good. I don't actually use her that much, but sometimes you just need a big shield. So that is it for this updated build. This deck is fun and very cool. It's very weird because it's feels like you're playing a Luard version of Gear Chronicle. Yeah, it's very cool. It's a pretty good deck. I don't think it's quite where it needs to be yet. It will get there once that 12 comes out, but thank you guys for watching.